And the Source Award for Best Performance goes to...
Who's the winner?
Where my dogs at? DMX!
Why yo?
So Eminem released a track which is called Rap God. He's the Rap God now?
I don't know what Eminem is.
Eminem has been involved in countless rap beefs, shutting down a bunch of rappers so hard with his bars that some never fully bounced back.
I don't got nothing against Eminem. Got nothing against Eminem. Eminem can rap, but I care about us more. I don't want to go through. I don't want to talk about it no more. I don't want. For 22 years, every time I do an interview, they ask me about Eminem.
But there was one artist he seemingly held back on. None other than DMX. While on the surface it looked like there was mutual respect between the two, fans have long suspected that something deeper was bubbling under. Let's dig into it. DMX dissed Eminem? So for years there's been this ongoing theory floating around that DMX and Eminem may have had some underlying beef. A lot of it stems from the fact that both were dominant forces in hip-hop during the late 90s and early 2000s, two heavyweights with massive fan bases that likely overlapped. And in that era, having two top-tier rappers at the peak of their powers automatically led people to assume some sort of rivalry. But what really sparked the rumors was a supposed diss DMX threw at Eminem in his 2000 hit Party Up in Here. Fans latched onto lines like, "I don't know who the F you think you talking to, but I'm not him, aight Slim? So what would you do, or you gon' find yourself buried next to someone else?" claiming the Slim part was a shot at Eminem's alter ego, Slim Shady. Then in the second verse, there's that line, "So whatever it is you puffin' on that got you think you Superman, I got the kryptonite. Should I smack him with my D or the mic? Y'all dudes as characters, not even good actors," which had people thinking he was referencing M's song, Superman. Now on the surface it might sound like DMX was coming for M's neck, but when you start to actually break things down, the timeline just doesn't support that theory. For one, Superman came out in 2002, 3 full years after DMX dropped Party Up in 1999, so there's no way X could have been responding to a song that didn't exist yet. Some fans even tried flipping the narrative, claiming Superman was Eminem's clap back at DMX, but that doesn't check out either. In reality, Superman was part of M's back and forth shots at Ja Rule and Benzino, not DMX. As for that Slim reference, it sounds suspicious, but the word Slim was just a general way of referring to someone skinny. At the time, Eminem's alter ego Slim Shady had only recently started becoming a household name. DMX's album, And Then There Was X, dropped in December 1999, and the Slim Shady LP had only come out in early 1999. So M's massive pop culture takeover was still pretty fresh. It's possible DMX wasn't even talking about him at all. Plus, if you dig a little deeper, Party Up was actually aimed at Corrupt, not Eminem. But that didn't stop people from connecting dots that weren't really there. And then came the Grammys, the year Party Up lost Best Rap Solo Performance to Eminem's The Real Slim Shady. That only added fuel to the rumors. To top it all off, there's this old interview clip that keeps resurfacing where DMX appears to brush off Eminem's talent, and people use that as proof there was tension.
So Eminem released a track which is called Rap God. He's the Rap God now?
I don't know what Eminem is.
But if you actually watch the whole interview, DMX does call Eminem talented and even shuts down the interviewer for trying to stir up drama. He made it clear that he had no problem with M and that they actually had mutual respect.
I know he's a talented artist. We have a good relationship, but don't ask me no random to start no random beef. All right, please don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay.
Eminem's respect for DMX. That being said, despite all the rumors and wild fan theories, DMX and Eminem actually had a lot of respect for each other, and that mutual respect showed itself more than a few times over the years. Eminem, in particular, gave DMX his flowers on multiple occasions, publicly acknowledging his talent and contribution to the culture. One of the most memorable moments came back in 1999 at the Source Awards. Eminem had the honor of presenting DMX with the award for Best Performance, and you could tell by the look on his face that he was genuinely excited, howling and yelling out, "Get at me, dog," as DMX made his way to the stage.
And the Source Award for Best Performance goes to...
Who's the winner?
Where my dogs at? DMX!
Why yo?
Then in 2000, just one day before Eminem dropped his now classic Marshall Mathers LP, he gave props to DMX once again. In an interview, he listed DMX Party Up music video as one of his favorites at the time.
I showed you a snapshot of one of my favorite videos. Do you think you know what that snapshot is?
I think it's The Real Slim Shady.
Gina, you're wrong.
No! on that, right?
You couldn't be wronger. Hang up on this girl. That video that I showed you, Gina, was actually DMX Party Up.
And of course, the biggest show of unity between the two came when they teamed up against the common enemy, Ja Rule. At the height of the drama, when Ja Rule was beefing with just about everyone, Eminem and DMX joined forces for the track Go to Sleep, which was featured on Obi Trice's project, The Bar Is Open. That track was straight up nuclear. The energy was raw, aggressive, and unfiltered. Eminem opened the song going straight for the jugular with lines like, "Come on B, show me. Pick me up, throw me. Lift me up, hold me, just like you told me you was gonna do. That's what I thought, you're pitiful. I'm rid of you, all of you. Ja, you'll get it too." M didn't hold back. He lumped Ja Rule right in with Benzino and whoever else had been taking shots at him and his camp. Then DMX came through in the third verse with that unmistakable gritty tone going, "Dudes try to holla but couldn't holla back. Now they gotta swallow everything in the sack. Bloodline and we can go track for track. Damn dog, why you have to do them dudes like that?" We all know how Ja Rule ended up beefing with two of the most unhinged artists in the game. Starting off with Eminem, which a lot of people believe that taking shots at M might have been the final nail in the coffin for Ja's rap career. Now, Ja Rule and Eminem never had a personal issue at first. The real tension started with Ja's long-standing beef with 50 Cent. 50 and Ja had serious street problems, and when Eminem decided to sign 50 to Shady Records, Ja felt like M picked a side. That's when Ja decided he wasn't going to beef with 50, he was coming for the whole Shady Aftermath camp. But instead of keeping it lyrical or sticking to shots at M himself, Ja crossed a major line. He dissed Haley. In one of his songs, he rapped, "M, you claim your mother's a crackhead and Kim is a known S, so what's Haley gonna be when she grows up?" That line was like lighting a fuse. Eminem, who had always been extremely protective of his daughter, was furious. So M rounded up the Shady family and came back swinging with a savage track titled Haley's Revenge. The song started off with a clip of young Haley being asked what she wanted to be when she grows up, to which she replied, "I don't know, but I don't want to grow up to be like Ja Rule's little dirty kids." From there, it was full-blown lyrical war. Eminem didn't hold back, throwing in lines like, "Bring daddy's Oscar, we're gonna shove it up Ja Rule." He also took direct shots at Ja for trying to mimic Tupac's legacy, something Ja had constantly been accused of during his career. M rapped, "You on Pac's D, you a replica guy. If you was alive, you would never get by. All you do is cry, B, keep it real. Life is more than imitating and eating pills." But that wasn't even the end of it. Eminem and 50 Cent then teamed up on a diss track called Hail Mary, flipping the title of one of Pac's most iconic songs and turning it into a weapon against Ja. The message was clear, Ja wasn't Pac and never would be. One of the hardest hitting lines said it all. "Come at me, mother F, if you want shady. If Pac was still now, he would never ride with Ja." The Shady camp made sure Ja Rule got buried under an avalanche of bars, and the impact was clear. Ja's once glowing career started to dim, especially as 50 Cent exploded in popularity and basically took over the early 2000s. By 2004, Eminem addressed the entire feud in a more reflective way on the song Like Toy Soldiers. He admitted he tried to squash the beef but couldn't once Ja brought Haley into it. "That Ja-ish, I tried to squash it, it was too late to stop it. There's a certain line you just don't cross, and he crossed it. I heard him say Haley's name on a song and I just lost it." Even though M said he was done with the drama, the damage had already been done. And not to M. Ja Rule's momentum was never quite the same again. He went from dominating the charts to struggling to stay relevant in a rap game now ruled by 50 and the G-Unit Shady Aftermath machine. Still, Eminem couldn't help but get one last shot in years later. On his 2018 Kamikaze album, he fired off a stray bullet in Ja's direction just to remind people, "I hear you talking ish, I'm just too big to respond to it. God forbid I forget. Go and jump out the window. Somebody better childproof it, cause if I lose it, we can rewind to some old Ja Rule ish and I can remind first how I do ish." And then there's DMX. Before all the beef and back and forth, DMX and Ja Rule were actually cool. They were friends. In fact, DMX was a big part of Ja Rule's come-up. Early in Ja's career, he used to be DMX's hype man, rolling with X and soaking up the energy on stage.
And you never felt you needed a hype man or wanted a hype man?
Actually, my first hype man was Ja Rule.
Oh, I thought it was dragging on.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Their bond got even stronger when Ja landed his deal at Def Jam through Irv Gotti, who was working behind the scenes as a producer and exec at the time. Irv had been trying to build something special at Def Jam, and Ja Rule was part of that vision. Ja Rule's solo debut on Wax came on November 28, 1995, when Mike Geronimo dropped a track called Time to Build. That track was produced by Irv and featured Ja Rule, Jay-Z, and DMX. Fast forward to 1997, and DMX finally signs his own deal with Def Jam. Around the same time, Jay-Z and Ja Rule were also signed to the label, and the three of them were forming this tight trio in the rap game. With Irv Gotti's help, they were becoming a force. Irv even created his own imprint under Def Jam called Murder Inc. Records, and Ja was the label's main star. X and Ja kept collaborating too. On November 4th, 1997, they came together again on the Mike Geronimo joint Usual Suspects, keeping that chemistry alive. But the next year, things started to shift. On May 19th, 1998, DMX dropped It's Dark and Hell is Hot, a classic debut that took over the game. It sold over 250,000 copies in its first week, and DMX instantly became the hottest name in hip-hop. Beginning of the beef. Later that same year, on December 22, 1998, X dropped his second album, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. On that album was the track Blackout, which featured Jay-Z. And there was another track, We Don't Give a F, where X threw some subliminal shots at Ja. That was the first real signs that things between them were starting to get tense. At the same time, Ja Rule was preparing for his own solo breakout. On March 2, 1999, he dropped Holla Holla, a straight banger that started buzzing heavy and peaked at number 35 on the Billboard Hot 100. But as that one song took off, people, fans, industry heads, and even DMX began to notice how Ja's flow, delivery, and energy felt similar. To many, it sounded like he was taking a page straight out of DMX's book. The situation got worse when it came time to shoot the music video for Holla Holla. Ja had invited both DMX and Jay-Z to be in the video, but at the last minute, they both backed out. According to Ja, it felt like they thought they were too big to show up for him.
I never had a problem with Jay's success, never had a problem with X's success. You know, I rooted for them, I cheered for them, you know, but I never got the same love in return. It was one of those things like, I guess they was too big to be in my video.
That move hurt, and it made Ja feel like he had something to prove. He wanted to show the world he didn't need DMX or Jay to make it, and that he could stand up on his own. But DMX didn't take that lightly. He saw it as betrayal and disrespect, and he also felt Ja was straight up stealing his identity.
I really wanted to get away from them two and show the world that I don't need them two to make hit records. You understand? Like, I don't need them two to make myself a success.
Then things really popped off in August 2002. DMX had been getting asked in interviews over and over again about Ja Rule, and it was getting on his nerves. So one day he called into Power 105.1 and just went off. He straight up said it's going down between him and Ja. That same night or the morning after, Ja Rule called into Hot 97 to respond. He called DMX Crackman X and basically said DMX couldn't touch him, lyrically or otherwise.
We're talking about DMX?
We're talking about DMX, Crackman X, okay? This is out of line. And he never will be able to. And it's hurting him right now that I'm bigger than him. It's killing him right now that I'm bigger than him.
DMX exposes the dark side. Irv Gotti ended up jumping into it too. He called into Hot 97 and sided with Ja, saying Ja had every right to defend himself and diss DMX. That move didn't sit right with X, who was out in LA filming a movie at the time. When he heard about it, he called into another radio station and told Irv Gotti to stay in his lane. According to X, this beef had nothing to do with Irv. It was between him and Ja. This was also the point where DMX shared what many believe was the real reason he was going after Ja Rule. He claimed that Ja was involved with men, hinting that he might be gay.
You know he be too, right?
No.
Yeah, man, some nigga that was styling his clothes and I got the inside information, man. Some nigga that was styling his clothes for one of them shows, got him ecstasy on one night and f***ed him. Man, Ja Rule was I'm telling you, dog. Oh my mama! Oh my mama!
After all that build-up, this whole situation between DMX and Ja Rule took a wild turn and got way more serious. The friendship was long gone by this point, and what was once subtle jabs turned into real-life street drama. It all hit a new level one day when DMX was chilling in his office. His wife and his young son were there too. It was just supposed to be a normal day, but as soon as X left the building for the day, Ja Rule pulled up with 30 dudes deep. Him and a whole crew stormed the office, supposedly looking for DMX. According to X, Ja waited until he left just so he could pop up and try to act tough in front of everyone, basically trying to fake like he was really about that life. But DMX saw right through it. Airport confrontation. Things only got more intense after that. Not long after, both of them happened to be at the same airport in Chicago. That's where they crossed paths again, and this time there was no way to avoid it. Ja walked up on X, trying to confront him, demanding answers for why DMX wasn't rocking with him anymore, but DMX wasn't about to explain himself. He got right up in Ja's face and things got heated fast. They started yelling back and forth with X barking on Ja. A few hours passed and DMX reached out to some street connections. He made a call to the leader of the Latin Kings out in Chicago, and when it was time for Ja Rule to leave the airport later that night, DMX had 10 cars waiting outside. He had the parking lot mobbed up with goons ready to handle business.
Come out the motherfucking airport, when they Kato. 10 trucks.
Pow.
All that kings.
Pow.
I mean, and we wasn't on no. Well, they did what they did. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know how they did. They did what they did.
Ja Rule, on the other hand, didn't have much backup with him. He was practically by himself or with just a couple of people. So when he saw all those cars and realized who they were with, the pressure was real. DMX had the upper hand and Ja Rule knew it. Word is, X could have handled him right then and there, but instead, he decided to let him go. He said he spared him and let him live that night.
And you know who the I'm talking to, nigga. You only alive because of me, mother. You only alive because of me, you. Yeah, remember Chicago. That's all I'm gonna say, Lo. Remember Chicago.
The tension between the two continued to get worse until later in 2004, DMX ended up getting into some serious legal trouble. He was arrested and hit with a laundry list of charges, including drug possession, criminal impersonation, criminal mischief, menacing, and even impersonating a federal agent. To make it even crazier, he reportedly tried to carjack someone during the incident. The whole situation spiraled, and on November 18, 2005, DMX was sentenced to 70 days in Rikers Island. The truce. Now here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. While DMX was locked up, Irv Gotti actually came to visit him in jail. Irv wanted to end the drama between Ja and X once and for all, and surprisingly, DMX agreed. Time moved on, and then came a big moment for hip-hop fans and old heads who remembered when this trio was supposed to run the game. On September 23, 2009, during VH1's Hip Hop Honor Ceremony, DMX and Ja Rule were both in the same building. Cameras caught the two of them embracing, finally and officially squashing their long-standing beef. And to make it even better, a couple of months after that, the two even linked up in the booth again. They both featured on Norie's track Stay Flawless, and after that, the beef was truly dead.